Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage talk show host on AM 560 The Answer and former Tea Party Congressman Joe Walsh.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, behave out there. We have a country to save. I'm honored because I get to be, and you're all thrilled because that means you're not going to get a lot of Joe Walsh tonight. I get to be a warm-up act. And I'm thrilled and honored to be a warm-up act for, can I call a woman this? Yeah, I can. If not one of the top warriors that we have in this battle for freedom in this country, Michelle Malkin. So Joe and Diane Bast, I will be brief. My job is just to give you a report from the field and then introduce Michelle. Many of you, most of you probably do not know I worked at the Heartland Institute. Yes, Diane, I had to say that. Diane and Joe paid me for a couple of years. Can you imagine that? I worked at the Heartland Institute. I worked at the knee of Joe and Diane Bast. I want to take a show of hands. How many people in this room, and play with me, believe the federal government's way too big? Please raise your hands. Wow, this is... You know, I could have gotten reelected with a crowd like this. Keep those hands up. How many people believe that our state and local governments should have more power than the federal government? Well, let me tell you something. Keep those hands up. There is no organization in the country that educates state and local elected officials to freedom, limited government, and free markets than the Heartland Institute. Get those hands up. So, because here's my close. And Joe, you'll like this. Get those hands up. Because of that, everybody with their hands up should be giving the Heartland Institute money, like as in tomorrow. Look at Joe, still got his hands up. I actually am going to be brief, and this is not going to be the usually wound up Joe Walsh. Joe and Diane, I apologize, because I literally last night on the radio, I blew a gasket. I went home, Helene put me to bed. I swear to God, it's the closest I've come to, I thought, having a heart attack. I had a president a couple nights ago who said, follow me, the Islamic State is not Islamic. I spent an hour and a half on that, and I shouted like this for an hour and a half. The Islamic State is not Islamic. And then his Secretary of State, John Kerry, came out today and said, the war that we launched against ISIS is not a war. So the Islamic State is not Islamic, and we're not at war with the people that we're at war with. I lost it yesterday. I lost it today. So I apologize. Hey, here's the deal. I am asked this question every single day. When I was in Congress, I was asked this question. And when I'm on the radio, I'm asked the same question every time I'm out speaking. What drives you? I love that question. What drives you? Walsh, why do you get so wound up? Joe, why do you get so worked up? Why are you so angry? Why did you say that about Obama? Why are you always fighting with Boehner? What gets you wound up? I love that question because it's a very easy answer. We're losing. Joe Bast and I have argued about this for the last year and a half. We're losing. Why do I raise my voice? Why do I take on Republicans and Democrats? Why do I go to bed every night, right, Helene, passed out in my bed? Because if you believe in freedom, if you believe in limited government, if you believe in individual responsibility, if you believe in the country that Jefferson, Adams, and Madison gave us, and I'm going to imagine that everybody in this room does, we're losing. We're losing. And you know what? There isn't anybody in this room who can argue with me. I made a lot of promises when I went to Congress. I tried to live by all of them. Perhaps the promise I'm most proud of is I pledge that if you elect me, I am going to open myself up to the American people like nobody. I'm going to hold more open to the public town halls than any other member of Congress. And over 2 years, I held 334 town halls. Anybody could come, anywhere, and say whatever they wanted to say to Joe Walsh. It was a lot of fun. It was never dull. But nobody who came to those town halls, no one, smart or just sort of not aware, could make the case that this is still fundamentally a free country. And it's not. I can spend my radio show for 4 hours giving you 97 examples as to why we're not free. I'm just going to give you 2. And I don't think, Helene gives me money. I don't think I have my own money. So I don't have anything in my wallet right now. I apologize. But did you ever think you'd live in a country where that dollar, and I wish I had a dollar in my wallet, but I don't, that dollar you make, you no longer get to keep most of it. D.C., Illinois, Cook County, pick your poison. When all of these government levels are done with it, the average American keeps maybe 39, 40 cents of that dollar. You're not free. You're not free. And if there's one group of people, when I was in Congress, who called my office the most, it was small businessmen and women. And it's not sexy. They wouldn't call me up and say, Joe, I should be carrying right now. I should be able to carry a firearm wherever I go. Joe, I'm pro-life. Joe, I believe in traditional marriage. No, small businessmen and women would call up our office incessantly and say, quite simply, I'm done. I'm sorry, Congressman, I'm done in Illinois. I'm sorry, Congressman Joe, I'm leaving the district. I'm sorry, said Burger King, I'm leaving the country. Businessmen and women, we forget about them because it's not sexy. They make the country go, and they make the country grow, and they're going, and they're not growing because we have a government that's much too big. Now, I'm not Paul Ryan. Boy, life would be easier, Helene, if I were Paul Ryan. I'm not Rand Paul. I'm not John Boehner. Everybody in this room, we all have our lot in life. My lot in life, and I realized it right when I went to Congress, was to fight and to try to wake people up. John Boehner, about 6 months into my term, got into a private tussle, and I thought he would never, ever speak to me again. I think I voted against something he put forward. I did. I voted against everything he put forward. Now that I think about it, that was it. I never voted with my speaker. And I remember he grabbed me, held me close, and when Boehner holds you close, you got to listen. And he said, Walsh, he never called me Joe. He never called me Congressman. He called me Walsh. And he said, why the boom did you vote against my debt ceiling deal again? And I said, Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I have 3 kids, you have kids, and I promise them that when I come here to Washington, I will never, ever, ever vote for anything that increases the size of government. I just can't do it. And I said, Mr. Speaker, you don't know what's going on out here in Palatine. You just don't. There's something going on. It's a bit of a revolution. The American people have had it, and they're fighting back. And they're looking at you, Mr. Speaker. They're looking at you, Republican Party, to be their voice. It didn't go over real well. He shook his head and he walked away. Here's our lot in life before I give you Michelle Malkin. Joe Bast, everybody here at the Heartland benefit, you don't have to agree with me. If this country becomes a free country again, it ain't happening in our lifetime. Not gonna. Not gonna. If we ever get back to the country we were given, it's not gonna happen when we're around. Our job in life, our lot in life, and if you listen to me on AM 560 The Answer every day from 5 to 8, my role in life is to simply try to wake people up. And I think for the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, that's our job. If there's one thing I say a lot, Joe Bast, and it may mean I can never get reelected again, the American people have grown fat, lazy, and stupid. We do not pay attention. We do not do what Thomas Jefferson demanded we do. Stay informed. Stay educated. If you don't, this thing called the Republic breaks. And I'd argue to you, it's broken. Our job, the Heartland Institute, our job, Tea Party patriots, our job, all of us, is to wake people up and to fight. I can think tank the hell out of you. We can public policy the hell out of the other side. We can argue and debate global warming till the cows come home. Our job now is to fight and to punch because Michelle Malkin knows the other side wakes up every morning. By the way, that side that wants to take away your America, many of them are good people, but they wake up every morning ready to go to war. It's about time, Jameson campaign and Joe Morris, we threw off our coats and we did the same darn thing. It's not easy. It's not easy because, as Joe Bast has always reminded me, freedom is tough. Freedom's tough, Charlie Kirk. Oh, I want to be free. Let me be free. Keep government out of my hair. Oh, that sounds so cool. But then you got to be responsible. Oh, now wait a minute. What do you mean? No, you got to take care of your own life. If I'm going to let you keep more of your money, you got to take care of your life. You got to take care of your parents. You find out what school your kids are going to go to. Oh, wow, this is a different deal. Freedom's tough. Michelle Malkin. I'm getting the sign. Hey, here's a real brief intro. Michelle Malkin, author, speaker, syndicated columnist, conservative blogger, Fox News contributor. Michelle Malkin is this. She is a hero to me and a lot of other patriot conservatives in Congress. D.C. is a very lonely place if you go there and you think as I do. And if we did not have Michelle Malkin and people of her like that us members of Congress could listen to and read, we would not survive. This woman is an absolute warrior, and she has done so much and provided so much to people who have served. It's incomprehensible. I give you Michelle Malkin.